And in fact, you saw Mr. Wrench drive up, and you remembered him from his big bushy eyebrows. And his nickname. Big. And you said goodbye, you told us on direct examination about how you said goodbye to your other co-worker, James Brown, and his friend Mario Dodd. And Mario was leaving for Texas, and he met his new girlfriend, Bonnie, and her baby, Gaston. By on January the 11th, about 4 in the afternoon.
Oh, yes, that sounds about right.
And he showed up on time at the time you guys had agreed.
Yes, yes.
He came to the door and he showed you his credentials.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked you if it was still convenient for you to sign.
Yeah, I remember something like that.
And you said yeah. And you invited him into your home.
Yeah.
And you sat in your living room.
Yes, we did.
And you know, your living room has a couch on one side. And Ms. Moss has told us, and it's true, that it's a nice floral couch, green, and it's got pink flowers and that sort of thing.
Yeah, like Miami.
Like Miami. And then there's the fireplace across from the couch.
Mm-hmm.
And then two chairs.
Yes.
And a table in between.
Yeah, modest.
And you sat, he asked you where you'd be most comfortable sitting.
Mm-hmm.
And you picked the couch.
Yes.
And then he picked one of the chairs. Sorry.
Yes.
And he told you he wanted to talk to you about the accident you had seen 3 days earlier.
Yes.
And you said, yeah, it'd be okay to talk about that.
Yeah, it's fine.
And he asked you if he could take notes.
Yeah, I mean, he was writing stuff down. Yeah.
And he told you that when he got done, he was going to write out a statement and ask you to review it. And ask you if you would review it and then sign it.
Yeah, something like that.
And in fact, that happened. At the end. Correct?
Yeah, that I...
You reviewed the statement and then signed it.
Well, you know, I glanced over it. He's professional, so I think
And he's a professional, and you assumed he'd get it right, and so then you signed it.
Oh, yeah, I think that's what you're doing.
And at the end, as he was leaving, he told you that it was possible, if things went to court, that you might be called by the defense as a witness.
Yes.
Okay. And then you didn't hear anything for quite a while.
Right.
But I'm going to guess there was a time when you heard or read in the paper that charges had been filed against our client.
I mean, I wasn't looking for it directly. I went on about my life.
Sure. But you eventually learned that charges had been filed.
Eventually.
And because you received a call a few weeks ago from the prosecutor who asked you if you would come in and speak with him.
Yes.
And his investigator, Detective McGrill. And so you went, of course, to meet with the prosecutor.
Yes, I spoke to someone.
You went to his office, and in fact, the person you spoke to was this gentleman right here. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And the detective sitting next to you, Detective McGrill.
Yes.
Those are the people you... In fact, you point out the person who you knew to be the prosecutor.
Yes.
What's he wearing?
He looks pretty relaxed. Has on I guess a colored shirt. And, he looks like that actor on TV.
Let the record reflect, Your Honor, that the witnesses identified as the prosecutor. And you met with him and Detective McGrill in his office, and they told you that Ms. Jones was charged with reckless homicide.
Yes.
And that reminded you again of Mr. Husser's death.
Yes.
And you met with them for about an hour.
I didn't keep track of time, but...
And then they told you they would be calling you as a witness.
Sure.
Now I want to go back to that meeting you had with the investigator. Let me show you what I've marked for identification as Defendant's Exhibit 1, and I'll ask you if that is your signature.
Yes, it is.
Okay, and that is the statement that you signed that day, is it not?
That's my signature, right?
We'll offer into evidence Defendant's Exhibit 1. And let's review Defendant's Exhibit 1 with the jury.
All you have to do is push the space bar.
What am I hitting here?
Space bar.
There is your signature, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
That's isn't it? It's pretty cool. And of course, the date. And Mr. Moss signed it as well.
Yes.
And I want to review with you precisely what you said on that day.
All
Okay?
right.
You told Mr. Moss that your name was Leslie App.
And that's correct?
And that is true, is it not? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
You told him that you worked as a supervisor at the cotton factory. And that's true.
That's correct, yeah.
You said last Friday, January the 11th, you were outside the factory waiting for your ride. And that's correct.
Yes, it is.
And that's true. That
Yes,
was
it
true.
is.
You said you live on the south side, and your ride was supposed to be coming from North Junior.
Yes,
And that's true, isn't it?
yes, it is.
And you said you saw the southbound Ford hit the eastbound Volkswagen, right? Southbound,
Yes.
eastbound, and that's true, correct?
Yes, that's Ford, get that Volkswagen.
And Ms. Adams, you told Mr. Moss the light was green for the southbound traffic, correct?
Well, that would mean that the Ford ran the light and hit the Volkswagen.
You told Mr. Moss that the light was green for the southbound traffic. Isn't that what you said in your signed statement?
That's what's there, but I remember that the Ford ran the red light and hit the Volkswagen.
We can agree that what is there is the light was green for the southbound traffic.
That's what is up there.
Thank you.
Hopefully with as much success as some of you had today, to talk about the deal with Mr. King. Let's talk with the jury about the kind of person that you are. Now, you're the kind of person who goes into a liquor store with a loaded 38. Is that right?
I did that. I admit I do that. I did that. You know what I'm saying? I
And
did
you're
that.
the kind of person who takes that loaded 38 and puts it to the temple of a pregnant 28-year-old and says, excuse me, Your Honor, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, give me your cash or I'm going to blow your fucking brains out. That's the kind of person you are.
If I knew she was pregnant, I would never rob that store.
And you're the kind of person who, after she's quivering on the floor, sobbing, you laugh at her and grab the cash and run out of the store with your glasses and notes that you bought at the dollar store.
I did that, but I ain't no murderer.
And you're also not a very good father, are you?
No, I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
Exactly. You wouldn't be talking to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury right now if you were a competent armed robber with
Oh, this other thing right here is not me. Bobby made me do this.
Let's talk right now about you. Because when you left the liquor store with the pregnant young woman sobbing on the floor, you still had the 38 in your hand.
Yeah,
And you had the cash in your other hand.
yeah,
It exploded. So there was red dye everywhere.
yeah.
And as you turned and ran out, waiting for you outside the door were the police.
Yeah,
And they caught you.
yeah, I admit that. I'm not denying that. I robbed the place. I was wrong.
And they caught you.
Yeah,
And they put you into the police car.
yeah,
And they took you to jail.
that's right.
And they took your gun.
Yeah, so I dropped the gun like they said. I put my hands on my head. I did everything they said. I didn't do anything to try to deny that I was wrong. I surrendered, and I just surrendered.
You surrendered peacefully. So when they told you, when those police officers who caught you right there said, drop the gun, you did.
I did.
And when they said, put your hands on the car, you did.
I did.
That was terrific.
I did.
And then they put you in jail.
Yeah,
And they appointed a lawyer for you,
yeah,
Miss Lavagny.
yeah,
And she came to see you at the jail.
yes,
And she had a sentencing chart with her, didn't she?
yeah,
But before even you got to meet Miss Lavagny, before they took you to the jail, the police officers took you to the police station.
yeah,
And they weren't just concerned with you putting a gun to the head of the pregnant liquor store clerk, were they?
no,
They weren't just concerned with using a loaded .38 revolver to rob a liquor store, were they?
no,
They were concerned with who had used a loaded .38 to kill a police officer 2 weeks before, weren't they?
yeah,
And they were wondering whether or not that same .38 was involved in both of those crimes, weren't they?
yeah,
And when Miss Lavagny came to see you at the jail, she had a sentencing chart with her, didn't she?
yeah.
Now, this is not the first time you had been in any kind of trouble, was it?
No, I admit that. I've done some wrong things in my life. I made some bad choices.
Bad choices.
I'm here to do what's right. I'm here to let them know that the person you represent, you know, Bobby is crazy. He is crazy, and he looking at me like if I could just jump from over here. And I'm not scared of you no more, Bobby. I'm not going to let you do me like that.
Okay, what, Mr. King, why don't we just take 5 minutes, we'll talk about you, and then I'll give you a chance to talk about myself. That be fair?
That's yeah, that'd be good.
That be So let's talk about you first,
Right?
and then we'll give you an opportunity to talk about Bobby. Shall we do that?
That'd be good.
Okay, so let's first talk about the priors that you have. And for the benefit of the ladies and gentlemen of the jury who haven't been in trouble the way you have, should we talk to them about what we mean by priors? That would be all of the times you've been in prison. Okay, you know what priors are, right? Those are the times where you commit a crime, like you get a gun, and you go in and you put it at someone's head and you say, I'm going to blow, excuse me, Your Honor, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to blow your fucking brains out, and then because you're really bad at it, you get caught, you go to prison, and you get a lawyer, and the lawyer comes in, and she or he says,
you know what? Every time you do this, they jack up the number of years you have to go to prison because they get really tired of people like you. You've heard that phrase, 3 strikes, you're out? You're up to like 12 strikes, is that right?
I've changed, and I've done right, and I understand that, you know, sometimes it takes, you know, I'm really glad they did catch me the last time when I robbed the place. It was kind of like a blessing because now I have the opportunity to tell the truth about Bobby killing this cop. And if that didn't happen, the circumstances in my life would probably still have me out there in a wandering road doing
I'll
wrong.
tell you what, we're gonna write here, we're gonna talk about Bobby and blessing in a little bit, okay? Anything else you'd like to talk about later? Did you find Jesus or anything lately?
I'm just saying, I don't know what it is, but I do feel there's a higher power over
Higher
me.
power, okay.
that-
Higher power, we can talk about that later. Okay, anything else?
I would like to talk about Bobby being crazy.
Anything else you'd like to share with us?
Well, when it comes to me, I will let you know if we continue.
Yes, we continue. Okay. All right. We'll get to those things. And now, right now, let's talk about the 12 times you've been in prison. Should we do that?
Yeah.
Because when Miss Lavagny came to see you with that sentencing, she said, we have a big problem.
Right.
She said that we have a big problem because just with the armed robbery, where they caught you red-handed, literally, with the money, with the gun, with the disguise, and with the sobbing pregnant lady on the ground, there is a mandatory minimum of 20 years. That's what you're looking at, right?
And so,
That's what she told you, right? She said somebody who had never been in trouble before could get 5 years on an armed robbery, but she said, don't even bother looking at that part of the sentencing chart, because that's for someone who started out with an armed robbery, but that's not you. You're looking at 20 years, right?
right.
And she said, we don't really have a defense because they have everything, right?
Yeah, it's like, you know, I did it. So I'm willing to accept responsibility.
But what Ms. Lavagny told you is, you got bigger problems. Because, see, Mr. Thompson, who's sitting right there, he thinks that you also were involved in the murder. And we're not worried about 5 years or even 20 years. If you kill in this state, they kill you. That's what Ms. Lavagny told you, didn't she?
Yeah.
She said, we have the death penalty here.
Yeah.
And she said, they talk about aggravating factors. You remember we're using those words?
Yeah.
That what the jury is told is that aggravating factors, which means the prosecutor, Mr. Thompson, gets to tell the jury about each and every one of those 12 times you've been in prison, and they get to be told that they can consider those in deciding whether or not to have you rot in prison for the rest of your life or whether to kill you. That those are the only 2 choices for someone who kills a cop. You can rot in prison for the rest of your life without parole, or they can kill you. Those are the 2 choices. Is that what she told you?
Yeah.
He got to sit in jail, and he got to think about that. Isn't that right?
I did.
And then the day came that you were gonna go to trial, December 15th, right, of last year?
Right.
And on that day, they let you get out of your orange jumpsuit,
Yeah.
kind of like today,
Right.
where they let you bring in a shirt to cover those tattoos you've got, right?
Yeah.
The swastika,
Right.
yeah, and the teardrop,
Yeah.
the dagger,
Yeah.
yeah, so that the jury wouldn't get to see them.
I always just said wear a long sleeve shirt so you can look presentable.
So you exactly. So they let you look presentable.
Right.
Right. And they told you to sit up straight, put your feet on the floor, do the practice with video.
Right. They showed me doing etiquette.
But exactly. So they practiced with you, and Miss Lavagny said, you know, I think I better go talk to the prosecutor. Because the pregnant lady, she gave birth, but she's here ready to testify. She told you that.
Yeah.
She said they've got the gun,
Yeah.
they've got the money,
Yeah.
they've got the red dye,
Yeah.
they've got the glasses from the doctor.
Yeah.
And then she and Mr. Thompson had a really long talk. Didn't it?
Yeah.
You sat in the back, in your nice clothes.
Yeah.
And then she came in and she told you there was a way you could avoid a step.
Yeah.
There was a way you could avoid life.
Yeah.
There was even a way you could avoid 20 years in prison.
Yeah.
Amazingly, there was a way you could avoid 5 years in prison. There was a deal.
Right.
There were 2 parts to the deal.
Right.
You had to do one part of the deal, and Mr. Thompson had to do the other part of the deal, right?
You right?
Okay, one part of the deal was easy. That was your part, right?
Yeah.
You had to agree to testify in this trial right here today,
Exactly.
right? Exactly. And you had to be willing to say 2 things, right?
You just told me tell the truth.
You had to do 2 things. You had to say that Bobby pulled the trigger to the gun, right?
He did.
That was one of the things you had to say, right?
Yeah, he did.
And the other thing you had to say, which you're doing really good at, you had to keep saying, that was the truth, right?
It was true. It is true.
Good, that's good. You practiced with Miss Lavagny and Mr. Thompson, didn't you? They said, they bought you a shirt,
I didn't have to practice.
you said,
I didn't have nothing, but I just had to come here and then let people know that I saw it. I can remember it like it was yesterday.
yesterday.
And the way Bobby is hard himself. I did some wrong things. But Bobby he is crazy. And he held that gun. He said, if you don't open that door and hold that door for me, I'm going to shoot you in front of this cop. And what I was supposed to do? He said, if I fail, he's going to kill me and kill my
Let's
family.
do it again. Did they do that again? And they said, okay, now we're going to practice one more time. Okay, so now what do you have to say? What did they tell you? You have to do 2 things.
They didn't have to say nothing. All I had to do, I was telling you, I just tell the truth.
You have to do 2 things. One, you have to say, Bobby did it. Did you also have to say, Bobby sprayed you to come up with that all on your own?
Bobby came away when he is crazy.
Bobby came up with the crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you had to do those 2 things. You had to say Bobby did it, and no matter how many times you were asked, you had to say it was the truth. And then what was Mr. Thompson's part of the deal? Mr. Thompson's part of the deal. Is your part of the deal did it, and it was the truth, death will just disappear. Is that right? Is that what Miss Lavagny told you? Just be off the table, right?
You know, that's how the system works.
Exactly. It works. And life will just evaporate. Is that right?
I don't make the rules.
You don't make the rules. Your Thompson made the rules, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And 20 years, it just go away, right? And even 5 years, it might not even happen. What did Miss Lavagny tell you? If you did a good enough job like cart on the wooden sound,
I'm just saying like I'm packing.
you might be a free man today, December 15th, Christmas came.
You're an FBI agent, right?
That's right.
Prior to being an FBI agent, you went to law school,
I did.
had a degree,
Yes, sir.
then you joined the academy.
That's right.
While you were at the academy, you received a significant amount of training in a number of different areas, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Investigation.
Yes.
When you were trained at doing your investigation, you should be fair,
Yeah.
you should be objective,
Yeah.
you should be unbiased.
That's true.
It is just about the fact.
That's what we work with.
Part of that training also involved areas such as surveillance, correct?
Yeah, heavy amount.
How to see without being seen.
That's right.
But if you're seen, you're no good.
That's absolutely right.
You were also trained on the importance of identification
True.
and how detailed, even the most minute detail, is important.
They are important. They can be sometimes luxuries, though.
If you see it, you document
That's right.
it. You were also trained in the importance of report writing, right?
Yeah, that is a big part of the job.
And then your job in the FBI, they call these reports 302, is that correct? It is important for these reports to be accurate. Correct?
Absolutely.
It is important for these reports to be complete. Right?
True.
And it is part of your job and part of FBI protocol that if you learn information after you document the first 302, you are required to file a supplemental 302. That's correct.
If it's necessary.
You've also had some training in terms of, well, when you are working on investigation, and I said it's important for you to be impartial and biased, you've also had some training in how to prepare for trial and help the assistant U.S. attorney prosecute, correct?
That's right.
You've even received some training in how to testify. Well,
Yes.
You're taught that when the U.S. attorney makes a point, that you turn to the jury and you look at them. Is that correct?
That is a technique that is used.
That's just one of the techniques that are used, correct? There's several techniques that you have been taught as the FBI agent to try to influence the jury on trial, correct?
You're familiar.
Now, let's talk about this particular case. You were contacted by a confidential informant around November 10th or 11th, is that correct? And you were told that something was going to happen. There was going to be a significant drop between November 11th, 12th, and 13th, is that correct?
Yeah.
And as a result of that information, you began to set up surveillance at a specific location.
Yes, myself and the partner.
You would switch off. Your partner would do 8 hours and you would do,
That's right.
correct? The informant told you it was going to happen one of those 3 days. This is an informant you relied on in the past.
True.
So that this informant was reliable.
very much so.
Now, on November 11th, after surveillance, there was nothing that occurred, that's correct?
That's correct.
On November 12th, nothing happened.
True.
So you knew it was going to happen in one of these 3 days. November 13th would have been the day, correct?
That's right.
Now, as an FBI agent, you have all the resources that are available to you in the possession of the federal government, that's correct?
That's a fair assessment.
They get a helicopter, need a helicopter, you get a helicopter.
It's true.
Need a yacht, you get a yacht.
Uh,
If you need it.
if you needed one.
You need satellite surveillance, you get satellite surveillance. If you can get a microphone the size of a pen, you can get it.
We have that.
You need a camera as small as a marker, you can get it.
Yes.
You could have, on November 13th, you had at your disposal all of the resources of the federal government. That's correct.
Surveillance equipment, yes.
And you opted not to use that.
I don't see how we opted not to use a lot of different tools. We don't use everything simply because it's available, I guess is what I'm saying.
You would like to use things that are effective.
Absolutely.
And if you had a camera on November 13th, that camera would have taken the exact photograph and picture of what occurred there, rather than left to the observation of an agent or a person. Correct?
Yeah, in this digital age, sometimes when we're left to using analog tools, we find that they are still very effective.
Now, on November 13th, you were in your vehicle, is that correct?
That's right.
And that's assuming that you are in the vehicle that you were in. And I'm going to use the table behind us as the phone booth that you were observing. Is that correct?
All right.
Now, when I talked to you earlier, you had indicated that it is important to see but not to be seen. Is that correct?
That's true.
And assuming that this was the phone booth that you were looking at, you would not, in trying not to be seen, sit in the car and make a gesture as you are right now looking at me. Is that correct?
No, I'd be tucked down in the back seat, actually.
Or were you in the back seat or the front?
Over an 8-hour surveillance, I've changed positions a lot.
And so if you were in the back seat, as you indicated, you wouldn't be just sticking your head up waving, here I am, here I am. Is that a fair statement?
That would not be a part of my training.
What you would be doing is trying to hide so that you would not be seen.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't walk up to the phone booth, stand there and give a good look and look the person up and down.
Not unless I could do it without being seen.
And so what you were doing was trying to hide, not be seen, just see as much as you can. Is that correct?
Correct.
And on that particular day, you were able to make someone actually approach the phone booth, correct?
On November 13th.
Yes.
That's right.
And the approach coming from the north.
That's right.
You were positioned to the south,
Just south of the phone booth itself, yes.
about 60 feet away,
Roughly, yeah.
in the backseat of the car.
That's right.
It was at nighttime. It was dark.
That's true.
Person then approached the phone booth and then exited the phone booth towards the north. away.
Correct.
Is that correct?
That's right.
And based on that observation, or based on that, what you saw that night, you were able to document a 302, correct?
Yes.
And you put in that report everything that you saw that night, correct?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
And what you put in that report was that the person was 5'4", correct?
Yes, that's right.
110 pounds.
Yes.
You gave no description as to race, hair color, hairstyle, or whether or not you were wearing glasses.
Not in that 302, I didn't.
And in fact, not in any 302, is that correct?
No, that information eventually surfaced later. Race and
So we're going to assume for purposes of your statement that that information made it into 302.
No, that was part of verbal testimony.
Now, when I talked to you earlier, I asked you about report writing and report writing.
Absolutely.
I asked if it was not your job or part of the FBI protocol to supplement that 302 if important information comes to your attention.
That's true.
Part of your job.
That's right.
Can you say you didn't do your job?
No, I just, I'm saying that that part of the description came out in verbal testimony.
The testimony that we've heard today.
That's right.
Never heard before. Is that yes?
That's true.
Now, as we sit here today, you are incarcerated, correct?
Yes.
You are part of the prosecution team, correct?
I am.
The investigation is over, correct?
I believe so.
That investigation is required to be fair, impartial, and objective, correct?
That's right. It ended in an arrest.
You sit here now with the prosecution,
That's right.
you assist, correct?
Yes.
After they finish their examination, they come over to you and they ask you if you have anything else, what you're saying to us, correct?
Yes.
And if you think that they should ask another question, you'll provide them with that information.
If they need more information, yes.
Would it be fair to say that you are no longer fair and impartial?
I'm not sure what you're getting at.
Well, you're here to assist the prosecution, not,
That's right.
you have an interest in the outcome of this, correct?
Yes, I do.
Now, now that you are assisting the prosecution, in part as the case that you testified today, that you saw a female, correct?
That's right.
She was about 5'4", correct?
Yes.
That she was black.
That's right.
It was not in the report that was objective, fair, and impartial, correct?
True.
You indicated that the person you testified today, that the person you saw had an accent.
That's right.
That can be a very distinctive detail in making an identification, is that correct?
Could be.
That was not in the identification that you made in your fair and objective report, is that correct?
That's right. It came out in my fair objective testimony.
Again, when you were writing that report, you were documenting everything that you could see from looking in the back seat of the car, trying not to be seen in the dark.
Yeah, absolutely. You just described a very tough job.
You testified under arrest that the person had two earrings, correct?
That's right.
Another distinctive detail that was not included in the report that you tried to put in everything that you saw.
You're right.
That would also be the same with the belt, correct?
I believe so.
The knee-high boots
Correct.
and the brown shoulder pad.
That's right.
Isn't it true, Agent, that Evelyn Cannon did not come to your attention until a security guard brought a picture of Ms. Cannon to you? Is that correct?
Yeah, I was presented with that additional information at a later time.
And you did put that in the 302?
That was not available to me, so I did not put that in the 302 at this time.
So the answer is,
That is no.
isn't it true, Agent O'Rourke, that on November 13th that you were upset? Isn't that true?
Upset?
Beside yourself.
Absolutely beside myself.
Just me saying, isn't it true that you were upset because Paris Hilton had been taken
Definitely threw a kink in our investigation.
in your identification as well, correct?
It meant we had to keep
All right.
searching.